It's Sunday, May the 5th. The Rhinos coming out as if it's a home game, and a strong team. Francis Cummins at full-back, Marc Calderwood, Tony Carroll, Keith Senior, Marcus St Hilaire, Ben Walker and Ryan Sheridan half-backs. In the forwards, Darren Fleary, Matt Diskin, Barry McDermott, Jamie Jones, Pat Adams and Adrian Valls, and substitutes Rob Burrow, Barry Ward, youngster Gareth Morton, Kevin Sinfield. And Phil, I mean, and it was a defeat for Leeds on Monday, but surely you're going to bounce back in a big way today.
Well, hopefully that's the plan, and you've got to take your hat off to the Leeds fans. A lovely day here over at Salford, but after the poor performance last week against Widnes Vikings, losing at home, they've turned out their numbers, showing their support for the team, and hopefully the team can reward that. They're looked in firm form this week in training. They're looking to put the problems that went wrong last week right today, and that's really the only place you can put things right, out on the field. You can do as much work as you like on the training ground, but it's the results that count, and that's what Leeds need today.
And they must be feeling confident. It's the Salford City Reds who are taking the field now. Damien Gibson at full-back and bringing out that young mascot. Great occasion for all the youngsters to come out with their heroes. Damien Gibson at full-back and Nick Pinkney recalled to the right wing. Jason Nichol, Alan Hunt and Stuart Little are the rest of the three-quarters. Steve Blakely and Bobby Goulding recovered from illness at the half-backs. In the forwards, Mark Corvo, Malcolm Bolker, Paul Heighton, Darren Tracy, Warren Jowett and Michael Wainwright also recovered from injury. In the substitutes, Darren Shaw, David Heighton. Now will be his first start for the City Reds. Neil Baines and Michael Hancock. And a big ask of the City Reds today. They've only won 2 of the 8 matches in Super League 7. And I really do imagine, as you were saying, Phil, that Leeds will bounce back in the conditions absolutely ideal for the runners in your team. I mean, Tony Carroll, big man, can run in anything. Francis Cummins, always a danger at full-back. And in round half-backs, Walker and Sheridan. Well, you've got a team that really is capable of beating anybody.
Well, certainly that's what Darren Powell stressed to the team. They are capable of beating everyone. As they've shown at times this year, obviously beating Bradford the opening game of the season, but then they've had big losses to St Helens, obviously in the Challenge Cup, but also away at Hull and then against Widnes on Monday night. So it's consistency that Darren Powell's after from his side. He knows the talent's out there, but unless they perform on the field, it means nothing.
So Mr. Silverwood gets the ball, gets the game underway on a first whistle. And a very positive first chase from the Rhinos. And Salford really going to have to be at the peak of the game. They raised a few eyebrows favourably at the start of the game against the Bulls on Monday, going 10-0 up early on, but couldn't sustain it. But moving the ball very well at the early stages. Nice little half suggestion of a break from Tracy, and good strong running from Wainwright, and this is an excellent first 6 from the City Reds, willing to move the ball, and Goulding will put in the kick. It's high, it's hanging, the chase is good, the ball's drifting, on it comes back, on Hunt makes it his, and the referee says that's the 6th tackle. And a promising start for the City Reds, but comfortably dealt with by the Rhinos.
Yeah, Tony Carroll making his way through in that bomb coming down, protecting Marc Calderwood. Ball come away and Leeds got the ball back. And it's good to see a centre and winger working together on them kicks. Leeds been caught out on many occasions, as have most teams in Super League this year, through the bomb. And teamwork resulting in Leeds getting the ball back now. This is Adrian Valls in at loose forward for Kevin Sinfield, who finds himself on the bench this afternoon. Diskin, McDermott to Fleary, the 2 props combined in midfield. Leeds 35 out from the City Reds line. First attack of the game. Diskin gets the ball to Ben Walker, onto Tony Carroll. Tony Carroll running at Alan Hunt. The big Kiwi brought down 22 out from the Reds line. Ryan Sheridan kicks to the corner. It's caught a bit of a gust up in the air, and Damien Gibson needs to deal with it. He does. Leeds fans reacting to, I think Jamie Jones may have been taken out of the ball, but Salford have dealt with the bomb well.
Yeah, good first 6, particularly pleasing to see the way Tony Carroll was tackled. It needed 3 of them, though. The wind, the breeze is a factor. It feels as though it's with the Rhinos in this first half. And I think the first 2 kicks demonstrated that as well. Oops. So an unpressured error and a chance for the Rhinos, 30 out.
Yeah, disappointing for Salford there, coming away from their own line, knocking the ball on, 28 out, and so Leeds will have head and feed. Good field position, just waiting for the ball to be returned to Ryan Sheridan. Leeds fans a bit giddy in the sunshine. Fouls, finds Ben Walker, has to pick it off his toes, then Keith Senior steps away from the first tackle. Now Ben Walker again, looking around the outside. He's got Marcus St Hilaire outside him, but just takes the tackle. Jamie Jones-Buchanan drives at Malcolm Alker. He's brought down, 18 out from the City Reds line. Diskin to Fleary. Fleary misses McDermott to find Sheridan, then on to Matt Adamson. McDermott juggles the ball at first, then powers his way out, 8 metres away from the Salford City Reds line now. Tackles to spare for Leeds, goes to the short side through Sheridan. Little kick through, Tony Carroll's chasing. And Marc Calderwood was there as well, and 2 attempts by Salford to get that out of play. Good chase from Carroll and Calderwood. Leeds coming down this right-hand side a lot so far. Obviously see a weakness there in the Salford team. And so Salford will have to drop out from their own sticks. Bobby Gordon with ball in hand, former Leeds player, one of a number in the Salford ranks. Adamson picks it up, 45 out. Puts the foot down and he's up to the 30-metre line. Gets the ball away to Diskin though. Brilliant offload from Adamson. Ben Walker onto Tony Carroll. Tony Carroll gets a head of steam up. Still going Tony Carroll. Brought down, 7 out from the Salford line. Marc Calderwood at dummy half, finds Ben Walker, then on to Barry McDermott. He straightens the line up. Under the shadow of the post now, Leeds. Be looking to come away with some points here. Plenty of pressure. Sheridan onto Vowles. Vowles inside border. Jamie Jones. Was there cross in there? No, says referee Richard Silverwood. Vowles, short side. Sheridan. Sheridan onto Senior. Senior powering his way towards the line, but he's caught a metre short. Diskin onto Vowles. Vowles tries to go it alone. He's brought down. It's the last tackle now for Leeds. 4 minutes on the clock. Diskin out wide to St Hilaire. St Hilaire back to Sheridan. Leeds shifting from one side to the other. Kick across from Sheridan. Marc Calderwood looked to be on it, but it was far too long. And so Salford will get the ball and defending well there.
That was excellent defence from the City Reds. I think it was certainly 2 sixes that they had to defend against, and certainly defended excellently. Keeping the line intact from the early Rhinos pressure, good to see. A little bit static in the play. Salford fans appealing for the Rhinos offside from Mr. Silverwood, who's drawing them back. Oh, that's forward. So it was a snazzy little pass from Alan Hunt to keep the ball moving, but clearly forward, and again Rhinos back in possession.
Yeah, you can see what Alan Hunt was trying to do there to Stuart Littler, but way forward in the end. So Leeds will get head and feed on the halfway line. Vowles finds Tony Carroll. Hunt was well up there. Carroll trying to step around him, but a wily old campaigner, Alan Hunt, and he was well away to get the tackle in there. Jamie Jones, his first start of the season, gets the ball back to Matt Diskin. Diskin now finds Darren Fleary. Hunt in again at the tackle. Doing plenty of work, the former St Helens and Warrington centre, but he's given away a penalty there, and so Leeds should get the first 2 points of the game here if the ball goes to Ben Walker, as I think it probably will do. And indeed, Richard Silverwood points to the uprights. Leeds have started the game brightly. Lacked a cutting edge so far, though. Had plenty of possession inside the Salford 30-metre area, but haven't managed to open up any big gaps. Salford have done well on defence, numbered up well and got the tackles in. And so Ben Walker now, 22 out, just to the left of the post as he looks at them. It's a firm connection and puts it straight through. 7 minutes gone, 2-0 to Leeds. And Darryl Powell, and we're hoping that's the first 2 of many today. They have performed well, they've kept the ball well, used the sets of 6 well. The completion rate on Monday night against Widnes was well below the standards expected of any Leeds team. And that will be the key thing, the performance from Leeds today, showing the right level of commitment. Don't forget the world champions up next for the Rhinos, a run of 5 games where the Rhinos will take on every other team in the top 6. Goulding switches the direction, finds Ryan Sheridan out, and Matt Adamson drives it up. He's brought down just over the 20-metre line. Diskin finds Darren Fleary. Fleary drives it up, tackled by Alcalo. McDermott now drives it straight upfield. Barry McDermott, only direction he knows is forward. This is Sheridan to Vowles, has Jamie Jones outside and misses him, finds Keith Senior. Keith Senior's through, Damien Gibson to beat, the pass beats him. Adrian Vowles now, can Vowles get the ball back? He does to Jamie Jones, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan scores the Rhinos' opening try after 8 minutes of this game. And credit the work there of Keith Senior, did well, came through, got the ball out to Adrian Vowles. Vowles knew that he didn't have the pace to stretch away from the cover tackle, got the ball back inside to Jones, actually looked to have picked the more difficult passing option rather than the man inside him, got the ball back to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. And the Leeds fans sing Keith Senior's name. 10 minutes gone now. So that set of 6, it came off an Adamson, Fleary, McDermott drive, and then the ball spun out wide to Senior, just short of the halfway line. Once he broke through the cover, the support was there. So this time Bobby Goulding tries a shorter one. Keith Senior collects it and drives away. Adrian Vowles down the short side, has St Hilaire outside him, still going Vowles. Brought down 38 out from his own line. McDermott drives at Alka, brought down. Fleary now, up to the halfway line when he's brought down. Lee's got options left and right. Diskin goes in his own, then finds Adamson, the big Aussie, former Penrith Panther. Been a big influence on the team since his arrival at the Rhinos. Sheridan now puts the bomb up. Gibson's underneath it. Lee's chasing through Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He gets away from Buchanan though. But Marcus St Hilaire completes the tackle. But holding down, held down for too long, and Salford will get a respite.
Yeah, great take from Damien Gibson under pressure. Wing just carrying the ball. And Salford not really having much urgency that we've seen as yet. Looking to have a chance now to build something. Tracy needs to hold it up. Oh, the ball's dropped and Salford get it back. The referee says that's all right. Back to 1 is... It was a strange play though. Tracy just seemed to drop the ball, not lose it. So Alka working hard. Heighton doing the same, but no real movement from the City Reds. No fluidity like we saw from Leeds with the ball. Gibson can't get away. That pace from Leeds, which is there in abundance in attack, also there in defence, and Salford resorting, well, correctly in the play to the kick, and a good kick it is, and that's as close as Salford have been to the Leeds line, although from the scrum Leeds will inevitably get the possession.
Yeah, good set of 6 there from Salford, sticking to the game plan and not being flustered by the early score from the Rhinos. But Leeds now have the ball on their 10, and we'll look to run it out from here. Sheridan finds Senior, tackled by Gibson. Damien Gibson, of course, had one season with the Rhinos in 1997 and joined them from the North Queensland Cowboys. He was a very popular figure at Headingley in his season there. Diskin onto Darren Fleary. He's up over the 30-metre line. Diskin finds McDermott. McDermott driving through a big gap, gets the ball away to Ben Walker. Ben Walker kicks ahead. Has he put too much weight on it? The chase is on from Marcus St Hilaire. It's just caught a gust of wind. And Salford have to dive on the ball. But Ben Walker getting through the cover there. Credit to the pass of Barry McDermott that set it up. Walker didn't feel he had the pace, kicked ahead for the speed merchant Marcus St Hilaire out on the wing. And as it was, Leeds will get a drop out now, so a good attacking option from the Rhinos.
I think, Phil, Salford seemed to burn themselves out after 10 or 15 minutes against the Bulls on Monday. I think today they're doing the exact opposite, and they don't seem to have any positive urgency at all somehow.
Certainly, by all accounts, they set off like a house on fire at Valley Parade and took a 10-0 lead, and no doubt had the Bulls worried at that one stage. But they're just grinding out their set of 6 so far. This is Keith Senior, gets the ball away at Marcus St Hilaire. St Hilaire this time won't be denied and scores in the corner. And great pass from Keith Senior again. He's set 2 tries up so far. St Hilaire, when he was through the tackle, pace took him away, fastest player at the club, and there was no stopping them. 15 minutes gone. Rhino's second try of the game brings up 10-0. And coming almost straight away from the dropout. Leeds putting the pressure on straight away and making Salford pay for not being able to get the ball away from the earlier kick from Ben Walker. Well, 17 minutes gone. Still only 10-0, but Leeds have looked very strong on attack as Ben Walker takes his time with this kick. You think by some of the reaction from the Salford fans that Ben Walker made the wind blow. He is one of the longest player that takes the longest to take kicks in Super League, but very meticulous in his style. Everything's got to be right before he hits it. And that's the result. 2 points for Leeds, 12-0 to the Rhinos. And ominously for Salford, Leeds have had 3 consecutive sets where they've come away with points in the last 5 minutes. And they've just been starved of possession, the City Reds. Bobby Gordon gets the game back underway. Goes high again. Kesey is underneath it again and takes it again. Tremendous take by Kesey and a tremendous run away from the initial tackle. Diskin down the short side now. Still going Diskin. Looking to get the ball away. Vowles onto McDermott. McDermott straight through Alka. Looking to get the ball away. Francis Cummins just couldn't take the ball off him. Adrian Vowles onto Jamie Jones, then onto Keith Senior. Appeals for a forward pass. It's given. So another promising attack for Leeds. Gets the ball back to Salford.
And Leeds moving that ball with the belief that every time they have it now that they can score. And Salford, some welcome possession, albeit deep inside their own half. And once you've had... Oh, there's a nice little pass on. Gibson, though, spotted well and taken down by Carroll. Salford just not in position, though. So Jowett nowhere to go with Carroll putting him down. Carvos striving to do something. Hunt. And Salford inside Leeds half. Actually gets it up. Tracy holds it up, but the tackle's still good. Salford kick through again, and ball's running and running, and in the end into touch. But Leeds fans getting behind their teams, tackling as much as their team's attacking. and filling the cricket ground end and making it seem like a home game for the Rhinos.
Yeah, certainly great support here today at the Willows. Key senior now pushes away from the base of the scrum, brought down 12 out from his own line. Sheridan onto Matt Adamson. Adamson straight down the middle. Well, there's one player at least on the Rhinos bench who'll be watching this game desperate to get onto it, is Rob Burrows. Plenty of space out there for the little maestro to take advantage of. This is Ryan Sheridan onto Adrian Vowles. Vowles well tackled there by Goulding. Great tackle there, showing he's got all of his commitment still. Barry McDermott, and that gets the Salford fans going. Been quiet so far in this game. Diskin finds Ben Walker. Ben Walker looking for a 40-20, but there's too much weight on it. Straight out, and so Salford will get a set of 6 in the Leeds half, and
for the first time. So that was the wind, I think, just getting hold of that kick. Blakely, nice little threat from Blakely, but Sheridan puts him down. Salford this time trying to move it. Jowett, no way to go though. Leeds. Holker. Corvo runs it forward, but not with any really serious conviction from the City Reds. They're not playing as if they look as though they can breach the Leeds defensive line. And when they drop the ball like that, it really takes the pressure off. And the referee's allowing it to play on, and in broken play, gives a chance. There's a try.
St Hilaire's away, chasing by Damien Gibson. He's going to go and try and go for the corner. Still going St Hilaire. Great chase there. Tremendous tackle chase there by Pinckney. Senior now finds Diskin. Salford players spread throughout the midfield there as they make their way back. Sheridan out to Marc Calderwood. Calderwood through, but Silverwood says there was a forward pass there from Sheridan. Tremendous break by Leeds. Comes to nothing though. And credit the referee there, played on, gave the advantage to Leeds. They took full advantage, but then the forward pass denies them the try.
Great cover defence from Pinckney and Gibson together, the two smallest players on the field. But Herring back after St Hilaire and showing great pace to get back and stop him scoring, and then the wind again just carrying that pass forward, and Salford rescue their lines. 23 gone. Nicol hangs on to it that time. Pinckney has a go. Been out of favour, I think, last few weeks. Corvo to trace it. But the tackling from Leeds, very positive and like that. Fleary and Diskin combining to put Jowett down. Goulding, little kick over into space. Bakley's got an eye for it. Is it bouncing from him? Yes, it is. And he the pass intercepted and knocked on. So this will be a chance for the City Reds. And for once, we saw something a little bit positive from the City Reds.
Well, Blakely's kicking game at Valley Parade earlier in the week was one of the main factors in Salford's good start to that game, and an excellent kick there in chase. And so Salford have a great opportunity here to try and get something on the board with 24 minutes gone in the game.
So can they? 20 out. 6 to come. Gibson is through. He's not through. It's out to Pinckney. Pinckney has to come back. Comes the long way around. Can't find a way through. But good play though from Gibson. Corvo looks to go forward. Nobody's with him. Balker gets it back though. And Salford Holker shrugging men off. Corvo holds it up, goes forward, and for once the Salford fans have something to cheer about, because Salford are in the 10. Wainwright's there to And as he over, yes he is. The referee's saying is he going to consult? Was Nicol over? And the referee's thinking about it. And he's going to give a penalty for a double movement. And when you're down at the bottom, nothing quite goes for you. A score then wouldn't have changed the result from the game, but it would have been it would have given a bit of spark to the game. As it is, Salford's best effort comes to naught.
Yeah, I mean, it's still only 12-0 to Leeds. All right, they've had plenty of possession and try disallow, but Salford shown plenty of commitment there on attack, and but for the in-goal judge spotting the double movement there, they would have had a score and would have halved the deficit. This is Darren Fleary. He drives up, but Leeds are finding gaps when they do drive up hard. Diskin finds McDermott. McDermott now, he has a go at the Salford line to get the ball away. McDermott, but tackle before he could. Diskin finds Adamson. Adamson driving at the line. Well tackled by Jowett. To be a shot on the head there from Jowett. McDermott now gets the ball back. Ryan Sheridan uses a bit of footwork to get it back to Adrian Vowles, then on to Jamie Jones, on to Keith Senior. Senior now goes through Nicol, couldn't get the ball away to St Hilaire. And then Nicol gives away the penalty.
Just interesting penalty that it didn't seem connected with the play of the ball. The ball was played fairly and there was no Leeds player to receive it. So what was the penalty 10 metres further forward for there, Phil Wonder?
Seems to be signalling offside, Richard Silverwood. But I'm with you, it looked like there wasn't much wrong there, but you could see real hesitancy in Nicol as he was going for the ball. So he obviously thought there was something wrong. Fleary in centre field. Diskin to Vowles. Vowles misses out Senior to find Jamie Jones. Jamie Jones going for the line. No, just caught, well tackled. And the ball's come out and Salford have it. And there'll be a scrum, head and feed on the 10 metre.
Well, I think there's been a little change to the game in these last 10 minutes or so, because Leeds were so dominant early on and Salford are clawing the way back into it slowly. And if they can go the rest of this half without conceding another try, then that opens things up for the second half, although Leeds were up so quickly then. Was it Golding taking too much time to get the ball away from the base of the scrum? And at last, Mr. Silverwood penalises Leeds for encroaching. So Golding finds a good touch, and showed how windy it was then. And here's Neil Baines on for Paul Heighton. Alan Hunt. Corvo takes a big hit. But Lee's still on the toes defensively. They're giving nothing away. Blakely there quickly. Off Tracy does well to get onto Gibson. Gibson holds it up, still comes back inside. Gets onto... Nice little dummy from Tracy. Still releases the ball. Blakely has it. Just throws a dummy. Oh, and in the end, just gives it away, and a chance immediately. Well, the ball was knocked out of his hands backwards. But Salford promising without threatening.
Yeah, I think there may have even been a hand in there from Darren Fleary knocking the ball out. It shot out at a fair rate or not. This is Adrian Vowles, drives it up. Good running from the former Casford man. Diskin at dummy half. It's a very warm day out there on pitch, even though we had this strong wind, and one or two of the players blowing a bit when they get a chance. Sheridan up to the 40-metre line. The substitutes will become very important. The first real hot day of the summer season. Calderwood, 35 out. Ben Walker, last tackle now for Leeds. Little kick through, Walker chased it, claiming he was chipped by Alcup.
Gibson, the clear ground, but in the end, can't know. Had a big hit on him, And I think Salford perhaps fortunate not to concede a penalty when on the kicker. Was it Ben Walker who was chasing it through, Phil? And it seemed as though Ben Walker was impeded, but the referee said play on, and Salford rescued the line. And Wainwright forces off his tackler, and Salford get the penalty for a high tackle. And Salford, well, having conceded those 2 early tries, first 15 minutes without a score, and Salford just getting the way back into this one. So Neil Baines, he's taking a big hit, still goes forward. Adamson, one of the tacklers. Referee said that was all right. Wainwright, nice reverse pass, good long pass out. Is there a chance over there? Oh, Tracy holds it up. Oh, the ball goes to ground, and if this tackle's not made, it is. That was a Leeds try, so another best attempt comes to naught.
Jones-Buchanan latching onto the loose ball. Barry McDermott now gets the ball out the back door. Francis Cummins, a sensational score for the Rhinos, and a fantastic pass by Barry McDermott. Well, you will not see a better pass by any prop in the world than that. McDermott held in a tackle, a little ball out the back door, and that's one of the finest prop forwards in World Rugby League. Out the back door to his captain, Francis Cummins, and Cummins running straight between the posts to score. Excellent try from the Rhinos, and just as Salford were beginning to put some pressure on Leeds, and Leeds were beginning to look a little bit worried about what the Reds had on offer.
Relatively speaking, but the class showed from that pass, the support play from Cummins, the pace from Cummins. And
Kevin Sinfield on. Short kick-off, and with Ben Walker going to the substitutes bench.
Oh, what a cheeky kick-off from Golding. There was nobody there. Hunt's back quickly. He saw an amazing gap, and Hunt loses the ball. First one, and that was a bit cheeky from Bobby Golding, but that's the experience of the man, seeing that there was nobody marking the 10-metre line, making the ball his, and Ben Walker, who would have been there, was actually taking part in an interchange. There was Kevin Sinfield coming on. Ben Walker had a bit of a knock, but again the pressure comes to naught. Hunt dropped the ball and Leeds back in possession.
Yeah, using all of his experience. Bobby Gordon there spotting that Ben Walker was off, and Kevin Sinfield was still stood on the touchline waiting for the signal from the referee to come on. Diskin finds Fleary. He drives it up. 7 minutes remaining in the half. 18-0 to Leeds. Ball's gone backwards. Tony Carroll finally takes responsibility for it, pushes away from the initial tackle by Goulding, but so Jowett getting a talking to from Richard Silverwood. Bobby Goulding not happy in back play about that penalty. So Gareth Morton now on for Matt Emerson, his first appearance of the season, number 25 for the Rhinos. Sinfield kicks down to the 30-metre line. Sinfield now finds Morton, first touch straight away. Widnesbourne. But played all his rugby at Leeds. Sheridan onto Fleary. Fleary ducks through the first tackle. Ball pops out though as he hits the deck, and Salford get a chance to come away.
Yeah, Salford just happy to pick up any loose ball that's going. And it was Nichols' turn that time. Pinkney leads up so quickly and conceding the penalty. Goulding gets on with it quickly. Baines takes it up. Good 10 from him. Actually out to Goulding. Ooh. Carroll was going in big then. Tracy doing well to stay on his feet as long as he did, but Hunt nowhere to go. Just gets up nonetheless and gets the ball off to eventually to Olka from Wainwright. But Leeds swarming everywhere. Salford just not able to to clear this ball to men in running forward position. Calderwood gets it on it nicely though. Now it's a long pass out to Nicol. Now there's a chance for the City Reds. But Senior has the measure of Nicol first time and then second time. But better play from the City Reds. Blakely has to hold it up because the Salford still have a couple more to go. Short side, little kick through, and that's going to run safely from the Leeds point of view, but more promising attack from the City Reds. Need a score.
Yeah, they've shown good organisation and endeavour on attack, but apart from the penalty for the double movement close in, they haven't really been able to open Leeds up so far, Salford. This is Barry McDermott, 38 out from his own line. Ball's popped out. Knock on, says Richard Silwood. And so Salford will get the ball again inside the Leeds half.
Yeah, and another chance before half-time to score that first try, which has eluded them so far in this game. But Salford making more of a game of it now than in the early stages. Unfortunately, Gibson slipping. Hunt. Carroll, one of his tacklers with Morton. Nice little break from Olka, using Jowett as a decoy. Baines is going to take it up and go. Woods put down, and Salford just outside the 10s, coming left. Goulding to Jowett. Jowett though loses the ball, but the referee has adjudged that Leeds have infringed and Salford will get a penalty. Is that offside or something, Phil?
Referee saying that Gareth Morton stripped the ball out there, but the Salford player trying to get the offload away, and now through Alca they're trying to attack down the right-hand side, or straightened up by Blakey in the centre field, tackled well by Cummins.
He had Wainwright if the ball could have gone. Goulding inside, and Tracy's there, brilliant, and that's what Salford needed to lift the game. Goulding drawing the men to Tracy, and Tracy darting his way over from close in, and at last Salford get the first points, which have been coming after that first quarter of an hour. Salford have competed much better in this game, and a timely time to score. It's never a bad time to score, but just before half-time to put first points on the board is least reward for their efforts in this first half.
Yeah, certainly they've had plenty of possession inside the Leeds half. Leeds their own worst enemy at times. The knock-on by McDermott, and then Morton with the stolen ball 4 metres out from his own line. Goulding now has the kick, and they have showed plenty of industry on attack as Goulding converts the try. Probably about a minute remaining in the half, and Leeds might like to see if they can get one back before half-time. I don't think there'll be enough for a full set of 6. Sinfield taking over kicking duties now. And it'll be interesting to see how Leeds react to the loss of Ben Walker. That standoff, Sinfield there. Need to organise things. Danny Ward's come on for Leeds, replacing Darren Fleary. And Sinfield puts it up high.
Oh, and it's a good kick-off. It was recognising the strength of that wind, and the bounce of the ball beat Neil Baines, but Littler made it safely his, and Salford have the chance to work it forward, but Leeds swarming in on defence. Calderwood been there all 40 minutes. We're into overtime, a lot of noise from the players. Goulding gets it out quickly, and good quick hands from the City Reds. Tracy though stops and comes back inside when it looked as though there might have been an overlap on the right, but good swift hands from the City Reds at last. Wainwright uses Nicol as a decoy, but put down for all that. Going to Blakely for the kick, and that's in the end going to bounce with difficult taken by, is it Cummins over there?
Yep, Francis Cummins taking the tackle, and that's the last tackle of the half. 18-6 to the Rhinos at half-time, and both teams with very good spells at times, but plenty for the coaches Steve McCormack and Darryl Powell to discuss with their sides in the half-time interval.
A change on the Salford side. It looks as though Nicol has left the field. Darren Shaw's come on. Little is standing in the right centre position at the moment. And it's Michael Hancock, rather, who's on the left wing for the City Reds.
Keith Senior fields the kick-off, then gets the ball away to Gareth Morton. This is McDermott. Played well so far. Leeds prop. Diskin now. Goes from himself from dummy half, runs at Alka, well tackled there by Wainwright. Sheridan's at dummy half. Gets the ball away to Danny Ward. Ward spins in the tackle. Brought down 35 out from his own line. Diskin to Sheridan. Sheridan going for the 40-20. To be in touch there, Pinkney, and he was indeed, says the touch judge. So a great kick there from Sheridan. I don't think he would have gone in the 20 if it had gone out of play.
So I was just thinking that Salford had started off the tackling in this second half with much more energy than the start of the first half, and at the first play they have that sort of situation that they've had to give possession back to the Rhinos and put the Rhinos in a good attacking position.
Yeah, unlucky for Pinkney, but Leeds need to use that luck. Sinfield looking to go through the gap himself. Well tackled. Cummins at dummy half, finds Vowles. Vowles has numbers outside and goes inside of Gareth Morton. Morton still going. Pulled down, a metre short. Diskin now. Finds Ward. Onto Sheridan. Sheridan misses out two, then finds Keith Senior. Keith Senior well tackled though. Jones to McDermott. McDermott looking to go himself. Excellent tackle by Wainwright. Senior's at dummy half. Finds Sheridan onto Sinfield. Sinfield dummies, looking to go himself. Sinfield brought down. Leeds last tackle. They'll be looking to get points here. They've had plenty of opportunities. Vowles kicks through, but well fielded by Gibson, and Gibson comes away into centre field.
Great six by the City Reds. Big hit on Gibson, not given. Look at the poor guy, he's in agony, and Mr. Silverwood missed that one. He's given the penalty now for something else, but Gibson is in great agony from receiving a very high tackle. And the Salford fans saw it, and Gibson feels it, poor guy. And Salford's first six defensively was absolutely outstanding, as was the second on their own line, keeping Leeds out, and they've come out fired up this second half, and that's so good to see, and the fans like that. But Gibson obviously in considerable discomfort at the moment. Nobody more so than Neil Baines has showed some gritty determination at the start of this second half. Jowett's doing the same, and unbelievably Gibson's up and in position to take the ball if needed. What determination. Corvo fighting to stay on his feet, not quite literally but not far off, and Gibson's back there, recovered. Blakely steps, goes back inside, but can't find somebody to pass to. The tackling from Leeds still good. Alke sets off on his own. Nice pass on. Oh, ball dropped, and a chance immediately for the Rhinos.
Yeah, Calderwood bursting in off the wing. Jamie Jones now from dummy half. Doing a lot of work, Jamie Jones-Buchanan's got a try to his name already. Always looking for work. Sheridan now has Senior outside him. Sheridan going on his own, still going Ryan Sheridan. Eventually pulled down on the Salford 20-metre line. Sheridan, Senior to Vowles down the short side. Vowles bounces off the first tackle, then drives it in midfield. Finds Sinfield out wide to Tony Carroll. Tony Carroll needs to get it out wide to Marc Calderwood. Calderwood in at the corner. Bobby Gordon chasing, couldn't get near him, and Calderwood gets his try. And Leeds start the second half off in great form. 4 minutes gone, the first try of the half, and credit there, Adrian Vowles. He went down the short side. There was absolutely nothing on there. Bounced his way back, then got the ball out wide. A couple of quality missed passes, and then from Tony Carroll out to Marc Calderwood. Great wingman play, stayed out on his wing, knew he had the time and space, and knew he had their own speed to bring him over. And Marc Calderwood scores the Rhinos' first try of the second half. Well, worryingly for Salford, there's still plenty of gaps for Leeds to run at. They tried a bit too much one out there rather than get the passes, and they let the ball do the work crucially for that try. Spun the ball out wide, beating the man with quick hands. It's always the best way. And one man that will pour even more pressure on Salford if he can get on with that amount of space is Rob Burrow. Kevin Sinfield, has he kicked it? He has indeed. A superb kick by Kevin Sinfield from the touchline side, and rightly gets a warm round of applause from the Rhinos fans behind those posts. Leeds playing towards their own fans in this second half, and they'll be looking for more of the same as the Rhinos lead 22 points to 6. So Goulding to get the game back underway. Kicks across the ground this time, but it finds the same recipient in Keith Senior, who drives it back up. Diskin finds Ward. Ward driving up to the 30-metre line. Diskin on to Sheridan. Sheridan to Sinfield. Sinfield has Morton inside him. Now Morton pushes through the first gap. And well tackled by Wainwright. Diskin goes in his own, then finds Barry McDermott inside ball. Barry McDermott tries to get the offload away. Fortunately for him, there was no Leeds players up there for it. Sinfield kicks ahead. Big boot from Kevin Sinfield downfield, but Leeds happy to defend on the 30-metre line, put the pressure on Salford. Alcott finds Gibson.
Walker off again. So just the one change so far for the City Reds. Corvo's having a long game. Oh no, Heighton's been changed as well. Not seen David Heighton yet. Jowett shrugs off one, gets the pass off. Blakely does the same. But the Leeds defenders are up so quickly, and Salford all bunched together. Nobody quite wanting it. Hancock's come for it. Shrugs off one tackler, and the second, still going, probing, and another one. Oh, the Salford fans love that, but at the end of it, he still gets the pass on. Now's a chance for the City Reds. Kick through, hits the space. Oh, but comfortably taken.
Yeah, St Hilaire stood his ground there, comes into centre field now. Good kick and chase from Salford, but looked like they had numbers outside there when Gordon elected for the kick. This is Marc Calderwood, looking to go through a gap himself, picked up and dumped to the ground by Nicol. Hancock, rather, to the 40-metre line now for Leeds. Diskin finds Ward, he takes it high and still drives through. Great running by Danny Ward, looking for the offload again, but no one on his shoulder. Diskin now finds Sheridan. Mismove, finds Vowles. Vowles onto Senior. Senior cuts back inside, still going Keith Senior. Goes straight through. Brought down on the 20-metre line. Last tackle now for Leeds. Looking for options here. Penalty to Leeds. Littler penalised for holding on. So, Kevin Sinfield. Is he going to go for it? Posts? Yep. 24-6 the score. This to give Leeds a 20-point lead. And of course they will get the ball back. So no risks from Leeds at this stage of the game. Just gone up to 10 minutes gone in the second half. So Sinfield lines this kick up. He's just inside the 20. Taking his time. He's missed it, pushed it to the right of the posts. So, missed by Sinfield. Drop out on the 20 for Salford. So Leeds will still get the ball back, but had good field position. Then on Salford, they'll go back into their own half. Jamie Jones-Buchanan eventually takes the kick. He's up over the 40-metre line before he's met by any Salford defenders. Adrian Vowles now up over the halfway line before he's eventually brought down. Second tackle. Diskin, Sheridan into Ward in centre field. Leeds have options left and right. Go to the right hand side with Sinfield. He gets the ball back inside to Barry McDermott. He looks to offload away to Cummins, but again, timing just not spot on. Diskin to Sinfield. Sinfield kicks through, chases on by Marc Calderwood. Gibson's there though. Gibson needs to take it, and Marc Calderwood gets the tackle in.
Oh, the referee's given the penalty. It's a bit of a skirmish at the play of the ball. So Leeds fans not happy about that one. Mr. Silverwood deciding that Damien Gibson was unfairly tackled. Darren Shaw for the City Reds. 24 points to 6 is the clear advantage. For the Rhinos. David Heighton's on as well. So he's wanting to make an impression. Hancock wants this one. Fielding to Blakely. Blakely has to hold it up. Steps. Oh, dangerous pass. Here's a strike. Sinfield score.
Sinfield gets the ball away and Marc Calderwood. Calderwood against Gibson again, and this time Calderwood gets an easy win and chases upfield. A little bit of afters there. Trying to be tripped as he put the ball down. Not sure there was too much malice in it. Marc Calderwood fired up after the previous encounter with Gibson. Great work by Kevin Sinfield there. Latched onto the drop ball, went through, drew the cover of Gibson, and then put the ball out wide to Calderwood, and Calderwood sprinted in for his second try from 10 metres out. Substitution for Leeds. Rob Burrows on. This usually coincides with an upturn in the tempo for the Rhinos. Matt Diskin going to the bench. He's done an awful lot of work, the Leeds hooker. Sinfield gets this kick, no problem at all. That's Goulding. Tries a long one this time. Marcus St Hilaire does brilliantly well to stay in there. Right in front of the in-goal judge. Almost ran across his toes as he was running out, up to the 10-metre line. Sheridan onto McDermott. He drives it up. Well tackled, though. Rob Burrow onto Danny Ward. Ward up to the 20-metre line. Gets the ball back to Rob Burrow. Burrow jinking and weaving and still going. 3 Salford defenders on him. They know what he's about. Onto him very quickly there. Sheridan goes from dummy half, still going Ryan Sheridan, tackled well by Malcolm Alker. Burrow to Sinfield. Sinfield going for the 40-20, too much weight on it though, straight out. And so Salford will get the ball on the Leeds 40. That's twice Leeds have done that. Ben Walker in the first half and Kevin Sinfield in the second half. Just judging the weight of the kick all wrong.
Yeah, in the context of the game, it hardly seems to matter. So Malcolm Alker moving into the second row to make way for David Heighton. Gibson works hard, does Gibson. Salford still without Andy Coley. Oh, good one from Holke. He might find more space in this new role, you never know. Still without Andy Coley, and Baines' run warmly received by the Salford fans, and Heighton's probing run gets him close. Closer, that is. Salford in the 10. Darren Shaw ready to pass this ball somewhere. It goes to Blakely. Blakely tries to go through on his own, and Blakely just a whisker short on the last tackle. Hands are up on this right-hand side for the kick. Goulding prods it through. The ball's running and running and running, and in the end, Cummins just knocks it to safety. So Andy Cole is still to come back. Francis Maloney, Gary Broadbent. Injuries, long-time injuries for the City Reds. And a tough programme ahead. Well, they're all tough, aren't they? But after Bradford last week, it's Leeds today, it's Wigan on Friday, and then it's Hull and Saints. Oh, look at this running from Gibson. Brilliant running from him. Absolutely outstanding, positive play. And Pinckney sets off as well. And play from the City Reds brings some applause from their fans. Wainwright looking to release, couldn't quite, but good period of play from the City Reds. Goulding, in the end, has nobody to pass to because the Leeds defence was up so quickly, but Salford inside the Leeds 10. Michael Hancock, good pass from him. Oh, and a chance from Olker. Olker's close. Can't get away, but Salford's so close. Now, can they get some more points on the board? Little kick through. Where's it going? Oh, it's going safely for the Rhinos, who run the ball out of the in-goal area.
Well, Marcus St Hilaire's had a sensational game on defence today. Done brilliantly with the last kick through, and then that time there, spun in the tackle and got away from his own in-goal. This is Keith Senior coming into centre field. Rob Burrows at dummy half. He finds Kevin Sinfield on to Tony Carroll. Carroll had to stop to take the pass, but then soon got going. Brought down 35 out from his own line. Calderwood now on the hat-trick, finds Gareth Morton. He's brought down. Last tackle for Leeds, still in their own half. Kevin Sinfield finds Ryan Sheridan. He steps over his 40, kicks downfield, and then bouncing at the touch. He was outside of his 40 though, and so it should be Salford's ball. And indeed it is, just stepped about a foot outside, otherwise it would have been a perfect kick from Ryan Sheridan.
Well, Salford's best attacking efforts this second half. Not quite good enough to put points on the board, but twice to within just what seemed like a couple of inches of the line. But unfortunately, I have to say that so often about the City Reds attacks, that they get that close without being able to convert to points. And Tracy in a long game. Lickler runs it forward, and who's up in support? Damien Gibson. Who wants it? Oof. David Heighton slow getting there. Oh, that's nice play from Wainwright. Hancock has to come and step back inside, but promising. Difficult for David Heighton. 12 months without a game. He can train, but the actual doing of it is so much different. So different. Darren Shaw doing well to hang on to that ball from Blakely's pass. Salford working through the sixes though. Blakely with the high one. That's running. Leeds defending well, but the wind taking that, and Leeds defending comfortably then, Phil.
Yeah, Francis Cummins did well there. Just judged it, saw it was going to bounce straight out. So Marc Calderwood takes it out, looking to go around his outside man, still going. Taken down well by Hancock. Burrow. Knock on though by Calderwood. The Salford fans spotted it before the referee. And so it's head and feed to Salford inside Leeds' 30.
Yes. So Wainwright's moved out into the centres. Sets off, but not very far. Hyden takes a quick tap and goes forward. Gets the pass away to Gibson. Nice pass on to Littler. Littler draws his man. Oh, and he just stays in the field of play. Does well to do that. Hyden, no, it's not. Olka can't resist getting there first. Oh, great long pass out. Oh, but Blakely's holding the play up. Well, there does seem to be more Leeds players on the field than Salford sometimes. Nice little inside pass. Jowett, though, at pace, though. Taken down in front of his own sticks and dragged back some 5 metres or so before going back the 5. And Baines is fighting his way over, and Salford come up with one in the end. David Hyden, it was, looking to pass the ball right, but the pressure from the City Reds finally telling, and Neil Baines in support, hanging on to the ball and using that pace and strength to go over from short range and giving some respectability to the score. So some consolation for the Salford efforts and pressure in this second half. You do feel the Leeds' intensity has dropped a little bit. They can see that the game's won, but the Salford City Reds fans have a second try to cheer about. And a successful Golding conversion, 12 points to 30. Just the weight of the pressure there, Phil, in the end, do you think?
Yeah, got a couple of sets there coming from the knock-on by Burrow, and referee just having a word between Littler and Senior, I think it is. Something's gone on off the ball. You tell them to cut it out. And so Kevin Sinfield will get the game back underway for the Rhinos. It's important Leeds keep the intensity up. That's what Darryl Powell will be looking for, especially with one eye on next week's game against the Bulls. It's important they show the right level of determination, even though the scoreline shows a big lead.
Good take from David Hyden. Malcolm Olka, good release. Wainwright taking him on. Can't get clear, but good little surge from him, and Salford having a good period of play. Nobody wants it. He went backwards, so you can play on. Neil Baines, try scorer. One goes well for him. David Hyden gets it out to Blakely. It takes time to get out to Malcolm Olka. Olka, good pass out to Littler. Littler holds it up, still keeps going forward, and does very well, Stuart Littler, to stay in the field of play and make another 10 metres in the tattle. Pinckney on to Tracy, on quickly to Blakely. Blakely, well, happy to get it away to Shaw, and to Olka. Olka gets it on to Tracy. Salford having the best period of play. Tracy, though, in the end, tattled again by Senior. And we got to, oh, referee said it's all right. So now, little kick over into space. The chasers are there. Gibson's one of them. Suppose, is it going? Going dead. And last player was a Leeds player. Gibson's work rate, Phil, is so impressive, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been one of Damien's main traits. He'll run till the very last second of the game, and he's put Leeds under pressure every time he's touched the ball so far in this game. Very powerful runner when he comes away, and he'll be looking to get on to the end of these.
So another 6 for the City Reds. Blakely, his first thought was to pass before he realised he was in acres of space to run. Shaw takes it forward. Hyden's there quickly, running on his own. Nice little surge from him, going forward to that line. And this is a great, excellent start to his Salford career from David Hyden. Now to Salford, find a way. Hancock goes cross-field, both ways, runs into trouble, still going forward, but finally out on the 10, loses Scumshield and has got an injury in that tattle. Still, no, for all that, gets up to play the ball. Shaw from close range. Oh, Salford so close, it's the last one. Are they going to get a try? No, they're not. Went backwards, said the referee. Little kick through, into space. Malcolm Walker's going on his own, makes the tackle though. Good defence from the Rhinos.
That man again, Marcus St Hilaire. This is Francis Cummins, the Leeds captain, running away from his own line, taking down 15 out. Burrow finds Fleary back on. His first attack since getting back on the field. Burrow to Sheridan. Sheridan out to Sinfield. He steps inside, but is well tackled by Wainwright. This is Ward. Looks to be a high shot, but across the shoulder, says the referee. Last tackle now for Leeds. Ryan Sheridan kicks ahead in between fullback and winger. Chase is on from 4 Leeds players. As Pinckney comes upfield, well tackled by Rob Burrow.
Yeah, good chase. Pinckney running a long way, but only cross field. And Gibson can't get in one stride before Carroll puts him down. And the weight of the tackle forcing a drop ball, and so the referee is going to give the put in to the Rhinos.
And that is what a kick and chase game is all about. The kick, a good one from Sheridan deep into Salford territory. The chase, 6 Leeds players well up in a line, putting the pressure on. The second tackle off the chase from Tony Carroll, forcing the drop ball, and Leeds will have head and feed about 12 metres out from the Salford line. And Leeds making a change. Gareth Morton going off, Matt Adamson coming back on. Not a bad game, Gareth Morton. A rare appearance for him in the first team. A player for a lot of prospects at Leeds, like so many. This is Sinfield. Sinfield going on his own, finds QC. Senior goes back where the pass came from. Rob Burrow at dummy half. Goes in his own, jinking and weaving, still going. Rob Burrow stretching for the line and gets a try. And you can't give Rob Burrow that sort of space near the line. Jinking and weaving and gets over, and it gets the biggest cheer of the day off the large contingent of Rhinos fans. Rob Burrow, an archetypal crowd pleaser, and they love the fact they've travelled all the way over here and seen yet another one for the Rob Burrow collection. We saw Bradford against Salford earlier in the week. When they got the lead, they punished Salford and racked up the points, and Leeds need to keep that intensity up as Kevin Sinfield adds the 2 points. Mick Cook, the Rhinos assistant coach, out there just giving 1 or 2 pointers to the lads. As Bobby Gordon to get the game back underway, but the ball's dropped off the tee. Danny Ward to field the kick, lets it go, and it's eventually taken by Francis Cummins. And he drives up to his 10-metre line. Sheridan to Ward. Ward, typical bullocking run up to the 20-metre line. Rob Burrow at dummy half finds Darren Fleary. He has Tony Carroll outside him, but just carts it up. 25 out now. Sheridan to Sinfield. Sinfield doesn't get it. Jamie Jones-Buchanan does instead, and he reacts well to make an extra couple of metres. Sinfield, inside ball to Adamson. Adamson's run was well read by the Salford defence. Burrow finds Sheridan inside his 40 this time, but kicks into centre field, and Gibson has all the time in the world to pick it up.
But still can't elude the clutches all he can. Referee says it was all right. But Carroll wouldn't put Gibson down, then Sinfield certainly did. And Pinckney's over for a run. And Ringney's found a bit of space. Now, how far can Pinckney go? He's got full back to beat. He's coming a long way round. Looks for support. Hancock was there, but Cummins, it was who puts Pinckney down. Hancock's on his own. Finally waits for Wainwright. And still the ball's coming back. Who wants it? Nobody knows it's loose. It is a going backwards pass. Heighton already looked as though he got a bit of a knock. But good run from Pinckney. Paul Heighton this time. Shrugs off, half shrugs off one tackle, but Rhinos always in the ascendancy, always seeming to have the advantage in terms of that extra pace and when they're tackling. Extra numbers and strength. Little kick through. Great take by Cummins, good tackle by Littler.
Yeah. Leeds' problems with the kick so far this year seem to have been certainly answered in this game. Salford, through Bobby Gordon, have had a number of options on the kick. Leeds have got the answers each time. This is Darren Fleary, 28 out from his own line. Rob Burrow now, going on his own, still going Rob Burrow. Goes around Wainwright, inside ball to Marc Calderwood. Calderwood comes into centre field, still going Marc Calderwood. Excellent running by the young winger. Came into centre field looking for work. Sheridan onto Vowles. Vowles, missed pass, knock on by Littler though. Missed pass there from Vowles. Had Littler taken that, would have been a certain try. As it is, Alan Hunt comes on for Damien Gibson.
And the Salford City Reds fans chanting Gibbo, Gibbo. They recognise and appreciate his contribution to this Salford cause.
Sinfield dummies, goes through a big hole. Kevin Sinfield running away. The gap's increasing. Kevin Sinfield's going to score. Going to score right underneath the posts. And that's tremendous play from Leeds from the base of the scrum. And how much of that was down to the fact that Damien Gibson just left the field. He'd sealed up every half break Leeds had made so far from breaks like that, and he was on the bench there. I think that may have been a telling factor. Not realigned in the full-back line. And Kevin Sinfield, the first dummy, once he was through the line, was on the way to the try line. The gap never closed, and he raced away to score. And Leeds continue their record as the top point scorers in Super League. And it certainly will be an entertaining encounter at Headingley next Friday night when they take on the Bulls. Both teams shown a willingness to throw the ball around. Well, no doubt some of the Rhinos fans will be celebrating long into the night. Bank holiday Monday tomorrow. No work, so the tills will be ringing in the pubs up and down Leeds. Keith Senior, just that ball bounces over and gives an indication of how high the bounce was. Keith, probably about the second tallest player at the club. Danny Ward driving it up, tackled well by Malcolm Alcutt. The Salford hooker, who's impressed everyone since coming into the Salford first team. Darren Fleary juggles that, then takes it. Adamson down the short side, well tackled by Wainwright. Moving off the mark, but Leeds get away with it. Sheridan well tackled in centre field, still deep in their half. Leeds. Rob Burrow finds Adrian Vowles going for a 40-20, but it comes off the outside of his foot and spins in field for Alan Hunt to take up.
And the chase was so good from the Rhinos that it was one solid line of blue and gold that Hunt had no way of breaching. A bit forward for Paul Heighton still tries to do something. Oh, and Heighton, all of a sudden from nothing, Paul Heighton it was, with Matt Adamson. And, well, there's been nothing in the game to boil over. And the City Reds fans happy to have something to shout about. Although he's not from Yorkshire, is he? Which part of Yorkshire is he from? Sydney. Oh, Sydney, Yorkshire, yeah. So, I don't know whether I tell you this, Phil, I actually looked at the record books to see what the Rhinos' high score was down here, and it just needs one converted try to beat it. And I think your money be on them getting that in these last few minutes.
It's certainly something for the Rhinos to aim for. something and nothing there. Hasn't been that sort of a game. Obviously, temperature's just boiling over. Richard Silwood, the referee, just calling in both players, cooled it down. No need for it. It's been playing a good spirit the game so far. So Leeds penalised and Salford get the ball inside the Leeds half.
Yep. Well, Salford with a chance to finish with a flurry, or a try even. Neil Baines. Oh. Neil Baines still going forward. Darren Shaw. Oh, great release of the ball that was. Blakely so doesn't know what to do with it. Where's the try line? It's Blakely, and he's got it. Brilliant. Steve Blakely of old, saking an ace to look for somebody to pass, and when he decided there was nobody there to go on his own, and that's the Blakely of his own, regaining his confidence and bringing a little bit more respectability to the scoreline. That's all it is, but it's nice to see that at the end of attack Salford can at last put some more points on the board. Steve Blakely, Salford's third highest point scorer of all time. 39 minutes on the clock. And David Heighton there first, takes it safely again. So Wainwright, Tylers will have the ball. Well, that's okay. Leeds, will they finish with their flurry? Yes, they will.
Tony Carroll breaking up field, still going. Tony Carroll gets the ball out the back door to Marc Calderwood. Fantastic for Calderwood. Claims his third try. Excellent stuff for the young man. Bobby Goulding shouting off at Matt Adamson. You know what he's so upset about. But tremendous stuff there, and credit too to Danny Ward. He was alert enough to pick the ball up and drew the cover before getting the ball out wide to Tony Carroll. And Tony Carroll looked like he was going to score himself. He was just dragging himself to the line and then just popped the ball out the back door. Marc Calderwood onto it like a flash and scored. So a good effort from Leeds today. Bounced back well from Monday's defeat against Widnes, and have played with the right level of intensity and performance. Good completion rate. Not trying anything silly on the passes. Just using their skill to maximum ability as Kevin Sinfield adds the conversion. And Leeds go to a 48-16 lead. And a good effort by the Leeds forwards today. None more so than Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Starting his first game of the season, big effort from him, and Leeds have won 48 points to 16. They'll return to Headingley to face the world champions Bradford Bulls, and in good form with this win behind them.